Oh, welcome to video number 2 of the day, which you may or may not see posted on the same day. I don't know. It is difficult accepting compliments and whatnot. And this isn't me fishing, but one of my technically coworkers stated that I look like I've lost some weight, and I don't think I have. Well, I technically have lost 2 pounds, but I don't think that's like from anything I've been doing. I think that's just losing some maybe water weight or something. But like as far as aesthetically, like looks wise, I don't think I've lost weight. I think I still look as chubby as I did 3 months ago. And I knew this was just them being nice, trying to help me feel better about myself, because they know that I'm trying to get in shape. So this could be them just trying to help keep me motivated and up on losing more weight. I appreciate that, but whether it be the potential autism or the depression or the general idea of just the fact that like I see myself in the mirror in the morning, hard to accept sometimes, because I don't know if it's necessarily true if I've actually lost weight. I also look at myself more negatively than somebody else might, just because that's just something I do. I'm kind of self-destructive in that regard. But kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about in this video is just like that whole concept of like compliments and self-worth and motivation and whatnot. I don't get a lot of compliments. Again, I'm just going to say it one more time. This video isn't me fishing for compliments. I just want to go over it because I know there are people out there who probably struggle with the same concept, and if it helps somebody, great. You're not alone. It can be awkward. Another thing that gets confusing, I usually just say, okay, thank you, when this is said, but when somebody religious says like, oh, have a blessed day or something, I'm just like, okay, thanks. You too. Like, because, I don't want to be mean to them. I might be an atheist, but what they're saying is coming from a place of genuine niceness, They're not saying this to say, oh, have a blessed day, you sinner, There might be a couple people that do that, let's be honest. But I don't think for the most part the average person saying bless you and stuff like that, they're coming from a place of malice. But it is awkward. Because on one hand, anytime somebody says that, I want to tell them like, hey, I'm an atheist, but thanks. But that would kind of be far-fetched in a way. So it's just easier for me to say, okay, thank you, you too. I feel like that's easier, faster, gets the point across a little better, maybe. I don't know. There is one person I see fairly regularly that still says it, and again, I don't think it comes from malice, so whatever. Not a big deal if somebody says bless you. I'm not going to burst into a ball of flames, That was ice. I was about ready to make some warmness. But yeah, no, I rarely get compliments. So when I do, it's awkward. It feels good, don't get me wrong. When somebody says something to compliment me, it feels good. But I also feel awkward because I get them so few and far between. I don't always know if they're stating that compliment from a place of mock or if they genuinely mean it. And 9 times out of 10, they probably genuinely mean it. They probably are complimenting me, and I'm just being a dumbass. But that's part of the anxiety and depression side of things, is not recognize that. Maybe that's part of autism too, I'm not sure. Social cues and stuff. But getting any kind of compliment does feel awkward. It's a little weird. I remember the last time a girl called me cute, and I was just like, okay. I'm like, alright. I don't know what to do with this information. Because I'm also awkward when it comes to that kind of stuff too, because I don't know. I have a hard time approaching people as it is, so when they approach me, it's even weirder. And I don't always know if them saying that is just a nicety. Because some people say stuff like that just to be kind, right? Not everybody that says stuff like that is interested in you. They're just trying to be nice. Like, oh, you got cute glasses, or I like the shirt you're wearing today. It's just niceties. And sometimes that's hard to wrap my head around, because to me, just my stupid way of thinking, I wouldn't compliment somebody like that unless I find them appealing in some way, you know? Now, it's different when it's like with friends. Of course, you are trying to boost the morale of your friends, but like, if I were to see a wild woman in the wild, or a woman in the wild, and she was wearing like a really cool dress, I'd want to be like, hey, you look cute in that dress. Some of that is part of me flirting. The other part of it is, hey, no, you genuinely look good in that dress. But 99% of the time, I don't say anything because I don't want to be fucking weird or awkward or anything. So I see somebody, I'm like, alright. And I go about the rest of my day. Because, you know, women can look at men like they're creepy and stuff, and, you know, I think a lot of people just got to get over the fact that there's a lot of bad men in the world. So that's part of the reason why I probably don't put myself out there more, is just, I don't know, I'm nervous. I tried dating sites again for a while, and that was fucking depressing, dude. That was so goddamn depressing. It's actually funny, though, because the only people I actually matched with on dating sites was on Tinder, of all places. I would say, like, I matched with maybe my last hurrah, 15 people total, and 13 of them were on Tinder. The other two one was on Hinge, and another was on Bumble or something. The one on Bumble never responded. The one on Hinge never responded. 11 of the people on Tinder never responded. Only 2 did. And of the 2 that responded, only 1 actually held a conversation. And then I think it ended up being like one of those scam romances. Scromances. Scamances. One of those. Because, you know, they hit me with the whole, like, hey, I'm this and this with money, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, sorry. I don't have money I can give you. I barely know you. Scromances doesn't sound right. Scromance sounds like some kind of venereal disease. Anyway. But receiving compliments is awkward. Especially when, like I mentioned earlier, I don't have the best view of myself. I don't think I'm inherently unattractive, but I wouldn't fuck me. That's mostly a joke, but I'm not attracted to myself, and I don't mean that in the sense of like I would make out with myself. I mean, like, I kind of take a look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, yeah, that's a human being, all right. That's one of the human beings of all time. And that's not to down talk myself too much. It is partially, but I don't say that because I'm like degrading myself. That's genuinely how I see myself. I don't think I'm the most conventionally attractive person in the world, and that's fine. I'm not sure I would look much better if I was skinnier. Maybe I would. But I also get nervous about losing weight too, maybe, I guess, because I see people like Jonah Hill and others that have lost weight and they become these assholes. Maybe I'll think too highly of myself if I ever lose weight. You know, now I'll be in shape and maybe have muscles and stuff, and I'll be like, now I'm hot shit. You know, everybody should look at me and be like, oh, look at that hottie. You know, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be so vain. Have you ever met somebody that has a picture of themselves as their phone wallpaper? I'm not talking about like them with their partner or their family or something. I genuinely have met people who have a picture of themselves and only them on their phone wallpaper. That's a little strange. I'm gonna admit that. It's different from having like a picture of yourself on your social media. It is on your phone wallpaper. That is vanity. It reminds me a little bit about Johnny Bravo. Man, I'm pretty, you know. I don't know. I'm not going to spend too much more time on this video. This just kind of hope people understand that, you know, you're not alone in feeling awkward when you receive compliments and gestures and stuff like that. Accept it for what it is. Try not to get too invested in it. Like I said, some people say things like that as a nicety. They don't intend anything romantic or intimate with it. Not always. Sometimes they do, and dumbasses like me can't read between the lines. But it is what it is. And another thing to think about is it might not be meant to be. You know, maybe that opportunity you missed it's a good thing that you missed that opportunity. You know, that person could have ended up being not what you wanted, or it could have been somebody that you shouldn't be with. You know, right person, wrong time, wrong person, right time. There's a whole thing that you can go on about that if you wanted to. It happens. But when you get a compliment, just appreciate the fact that somebody took time out of their day to compliment you. Try not to get too involved in it, because sometimes it is just somebody being kind. I promise that waitress isn't always flirting with you. As nice as it feels. But yeah, that's it.